What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good evening, wherever you are, and whatever time it is, and welcome back to another video with your man, Measureholic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my Rise of the Julia campaign for Total War Rome 2. I believe this is episode 5. We're already 5 in deep, and that went pretty quickly. Luckily, I have a fair bit of free time at the moment, so I'm trying to get out as many videos as I can before my year gets fairly busy, which it will in a few weeks, but we'll see what happens as it comes. Anyway, we're going to start off by dealing with Syracuse. As you can see, I auto-resolved the fight for the city itself. In our last episode, we actually defeated their massive army, so if you haven't seen that, I would encourage you to go back and check it out, as it was an awesome battle. But anyway, not a lot to say about this taking of the city. We're going to sack it, we're not going to occupy it. I don't want to go to war with Carthage and occupying it, or possibly subjugating the faction Syracuse may force Carthage to go to war with us. As in, the modders for Divided Impera have actually scripted in an event system where once you take Syracuse, Carthage is automatically at war with you, which is really cool because it's quite historical. One annoying thing to mention though is that we did lose our cavalry. However, now that we are at peace with just about everybody, or we're going to be, because we're going to make Syracuse pay for peace. The First Legion can head back to southern Italy and replenish just fine. We will get our cavalry back, and probably, well, I was hoping to get some Hastati to fill out the more Roman side of the army, but I don't think we'll be able to, especially not in the south. You actually have to build barracks where you want them outside of the Rome province itself. So if we went back up into just around Rome, or even any of the cities in that province, what's the province name? I believe it's Latium. You can recruit Roman units there without actually needing a barracks. But outside of there, I believe just about every single region in the game needs you to get a barracks, including southern Italy. But that's fine, not a big deal. We get some decent money from Syracuse, and then we send the First Legion packing back. Now, I'm going to be skipping through a fair few turns here. I'm kind of going to lose track while we're going through this video, but it doesn't matter because nothing happens for nearly a year in game. And keep in mind, this is 12 turns per year, so that's around 12 or so turns where we're doing nothing, but the First Legion is marching north again. I want it close to Taurus, but not right on it. I want it near Beneventum as well, so it can head north if it needs to. But I'll be moving that back north. And we're just going to be consolidating. I know it's a word that gets used a lot in Let's Plays, and it can be a bit of a boring word, but it's true. It's what happens a lot. We're going to be consolidating Italy itself. Another thing we're going to be doing is keeping an eye on the war in the north with the Insubres and the Ligurians there. Here we finally reached 276 BC. That means we've lasted 2 years in the game, which is awesome. A lot of cool, interesting information here, mainly about Pyrrhus entering Sicily and what happened on his adventures. Historically, Rome did not go near Sicily yet. And then after our peaceful year, we have this, the RDI Confederation declare war on us. This is the faction that Epirus liberated from our RDI allies. A little annoying, actually could have been a major threat if Epirus joined, but they did not, which is excellent. That means we're only at war with the RDI themselves. They're an Illyrian tribe on the Illyrian coast, so they are going to be able to invade us, and they actually do instantly. They send a full stack army up in the top right of the screen there. You can see some boats. That is an army on transport ships. Now, it isn't a navy. They do not have escorts, so if I can recruit a navy in time to stop their army from landing on Italy proper, then we can absolutely annihilate them, because transport ships are pathetic. The only way to survive on transport ships is if you get lucky and board the enemy naval vessels, which we're going to be seeing just how that all turns out in a little bit. But since my dock takes so long to recruit ships, we're really just going to be trying to delay them, and I'll be sending the First Legion north to dissuade them from landing anywhere in particular. As you can see, the Ligurians actually got wiped out, and now the Insubres are the masters of the north. They even have an ally faction, so that is definitely going to be a little concerning. They are not friendly towards us, but they are also not at war with us. However, they are definitely going to cause some issues later on down the road, unless we could befriend them, which maybe we can in the future, I don't know. Right now we need to focus on our main concern, which is the RDI Confederation. Although they're not a threat of wiping us out or anything, they are a threat of taking our coastal cities and raiding our coast itself also. So we do need to take this threat seriously. I send the 1st Legion north to Asculum to stop the enemy army from landing there. Most armies wouldn't land against a town garrison and a full stack army of Romans, and it seems like they will not. However, after I move my spy here, we see just how much trouble I'm in. They already have a 2nd full stack army ready at the capital, and they also have half a navy, and their navy is expanding rapidly. That will be going up against us soon. Now that is a big problem. The Roman navy at this time isn't really all that good, and the RDI were actually well known historically for their naval skills in piracy, so that's going to be an issue down the line. But for now, we just need to worry about their 1st army. We have a family member come of age. This is a notification you get when you receive a historical character from the submod that I'm using, which is the Julia faction. Hence, Rise of the Julia. And as you saw there, Carthage broke their trade agreement, but they actually declared war on me in this turn. Now, this isn't a big deal right now, because at the end of this turn, my game actually crashed. I know it looks like I'm save scumming. Calm down, I'm not. This is going to make very little difference in the long run. You guys will see by the end of the video. But on this very turn, Carthage declared war, and they also attacked Syracuse. So you need to keep that in mind going forward, that Carthage is very much against us, and they also just are willing to take the fight to us, which is very interesting. I'm not used to Carthage coming out and attacking Rome. It's usually the other way around, so that's going to cause some major issues. We really don't want to go to war with them. We're not ready. Italy just is not prepared. The RDI's navy is fully expanded out now. We're not looking good at all. We have enemies in the east. We have at least Cold War style enemies to the north. They're ready to declare war on us, but they haven't just yet. And now Carthage is going to declare war on us any minute. To try and combat this, I established some relations in the east. We are already friends with Sparta and Athens, which is decent. Athens gives us some decent trade, but we also get some good relations established with Pergamon, which seems to be an up-and-coming power in Asia Minor, which is always good. Now it's time for us to stop this army coming onto Italy itself. As you can see, they're up north near Ariminum. However, the 1st Legion should be stopping them from landing. Now the 1st navy we've made is going to be heading out and attacking the army on their transport ships. We do only have 10 ships, 7 marine units, 2 fire pots, and our general. That's right, general, not an admiral, for whatever reason. I guess admirals weren't really a thing just yet, but anyway. They have an entire full stack army, mostly infantry, very light infantry, but a fair few skirmishers which will do some damage to our troops before they get fully rammed. So this is going to be an interesting fight. It's going to be our first naval battle, and I shall see you guys on the battlefield. And here we are on the battle map. It feels weird calling it battle map, even though it is a battle, a naval battle. But anyway, that's what we're going to go with. Instead of showing you guys the battle replay, I'm actually going to show you the live footage where I'm actually controlling the army. Or should I say navy? I got to get used to that. I'm not used to naval battles. The main reason for that is, one, this battle was quick. Naval battles in general do happen fairly quickly. They could take usually about a maximum of 7 minutes, which isn't a lot in Divided Impera, especially with my submods that slow down the gameplay a little bit. And also, to me, it's a hard thing to really nail on the head. I really do like Rome 2 in general, and naval battles to me are quite interesting. But naval battles are not all that interesting to watch, and so I kind of thought I'd show you guys the more somewhat tense part of it, which is the actual controlling of the ships, rather than what the ships are going to be doing to each other. Now, to let you all know what is happening, we're basically trying to obliterate the first enemy line of ships coming at us before the second line engages us, and then as soon as we go through them, which should take 1 ramming each, sometimes 2 rams from one of our actual naval ships on their transport ships, which remember they're all transport ships. And so we're kind of just trying to blitzkrieg through them. That's the best way to describe it, really. We hit them and then we move, and we got to move quick. You'll see me hit the double time on the bottom down there on all my ships pretty much throughout the entire battle. But like I said, this is going to be a short battle, and it's going to be pretty much a solid win. We absolutely obliterate the first line of ships that come at us. We do have 2 ships on our left flank that get caught in a melee, which isn't good, but it isn't horrible either. One of those was a firepot ship that got caught in melee, which is actually bad, and we're going to end up losing that ship to routing at the very least. However, we do not lose the ship, as you'll see in the end battle review map. But the other ship is one of our melee ships, so they're going to do okay, but we're eventually going to be sending in our other naval ships to support them. Remember, we pretty much only need to ram the enemy transports about 1 time, sometimes 2, although I'm not too sure why there is a second ram needed occasionally on transports when I thought they were all the same. But anyway, that's pretty much the basis of it. You just go to ram mode on all of your melee ships and then just get into it. Now, if we were facing a naval battle, for example against Carthage, this would be a lot different, and we would be boarding the enemy ships, especially ones with archers, as their navy is far superior to ours. However, since these are transports, we just want to really just nail them. That's what we're going to be doing. The hardest thing about naval fights is dealing with the horrible pathfinding in the game, and there's just no way of fixing it. I think the modders have tried to do some stuff to help out, and it's not unplayable, but it is just a bad experience, and you will lose a lot of ships for nothing. But that's the battle all in all. I'm sorry it was very short, but there isn't really a lot to say about it, guys. We're going to go straight onto the battle review panels here. As you can see, our firepot ship did take a lot of casualties, but we didn't actually lose it, although I'm going to end up disbanding it anyway. And they lose their entire naval invasion of Italy, and that is excellent. That is what we wanted, that's what I expected. You'll note I didn't auto-resolve the battle. In the future, I might, but I was really trying to make sure we got absolutely no casualties, although we kind of failed in that. And then here we finally have Carthage coming back, and now my game is not going to crash at all. This is sticking with us. We are at war with Carthage now, the superpower of the Mediterranean. Holy shit, this is bad news. We are completely unprepared. We have a pitiful navy, really, and we have 1 legion to fight against them, whereas they have God knows how many. We see shortly that they're actually assaulting Syracuse, so they'll be able to literally walk into Italy whenever they like in the next couple turns or so. But because of that, I'm actually going to be ending this episode far shorter than normal, because due to this declaration of war, every episode we're going to have coming out now isn't just about how the campaign's going. It's going to be essentially a fight for survival. Carthage, the Illyrians to the east, and the Gauls just waiting to declare war on us in the north. This campaign could honestly end up failing. And I know I'm playing as the most powerful faction in the game, at least in general. It's really not looking good right now, and our economy is not well. There's so many things that are not going well for us right now, which is funny because we just had a nice year of peace where I was consolidating, but it doesn't seem to have done much for us. One final thing though, before we do end the episode, I'm going to be showing you guys a panel here of our first historical character we were supposed to receive. However, I believe that somewhat is bugged out. Hopefully it's just for this character, I'm not too sure, because I tested and went a few turns ahead and we never got the character. So hopefully we do, because that would be awesome to have the Caesars and whatnot. But anyway, we'll just have to wait and see as the campaign continues. Apologies for the short episode. I know it's been about a week or so since I uploaded. It's around Christmas time, around New Year's, and although I don't really necessarily celebrate it, things still did get a little busy anyway. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed your holidays. I'm going to be trying to get out a few more videos to try and make up for my absence. over the next few days. We'll see how that goes. But we do have some exciting things coming up in the campaign. I honestly don't mind if we end up losing. I just want to have a really good time in this campaign, and I think that's what we're really about to dig into. So, again, thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one.